So, a very common question I get asked by my students, and if you're one of my students and you've asked me this question, I've got a good answer for you. So, I get asked, how much should I practice? Or what should I practice? Okay, so the answer to that is pretty simple. You should be practicing everything you know and everything I've taught you. If you're not practicing everything, then you're gonna potentially lose the ability to do the things that you already know how to do. If you don't know how to do anything right now and you're just starting out, then you should definitely be practicing everything to gain some abilities. Okay, and how much should you practice? Well, it's not about how many times. Sometimes I say to my students, how many times do you think you should be practicing those chords or that riff or that strumming pattern? And they say, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times. And I say, no, it's not about how many times you practice the idea, the riff, the chords, the strumming, or whatever it is that you're trying to get better at. It's not about how many times you do it. It's just about doing it over and over and over and over again, like constantly, until you can play it perfectly. Now, how do you know that you can play it perfectly? Well, the best way to know is first understanding what the idea is supposed to sound like. So let's take a really simple example. Let's take, if I'm teaching how to play, I don't know, Happy Birthday. Okay. So if you don't know how Happy Birthday is supposed to sound, how are you going to get it to sound that way? It's pretty much impossible. Or you're just guessing and maybe you'll get it right, maybe you won't. So you have to know what it's supposed to sound like first. Whatever you're trying to get to sound amazing, you got to know what it's supposed to sound like. And a good way to know what it's supposed to sound like is to hum it first. So if you can go like na 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 and so on, then you have a pretty good idea what it's supposed to sound like. And then all you got to do is, instead of making the sounds with your voice, you're just making the sounds with your instrument. That's all. You're just transferring the sounds. Now, why hum it first? Well, the reason is because no matter how old you are, you've been using your voice longer than you've been playing an instrument, especially if you first picked it up. So let's say you're 10 years old and you picked up your instrument even a year ago. Well, you've been using your voice for 10 years versus playing an instrument for 1. So it's going to be a lot easier to make sounds with your voice than it will be with an instrument. So knowing how to hum it first is the very first step. And then you're just, instead of making the sounds with your voice, you're just making the sounds with the instrument. Okay. So I hope that was helpful in answering that question. I know it's a question that I'm going to still get asked and I'm going to have to keep answering, which I don't mind doing. But just remember, it's not about how many times you do something as much as it is about just getting it to sound right. Just being able to do it perfectly, however many times it takes. If it takes 5 times to do it, to get it to sound perfect, then great. If it takes 10 times, then okay. If it takes 100 times, fine. If it takes 1,000,000 times, then that's fine too. It shouldn't be about the amount of times you have to do it. It should be just about getting it to sound 100% right. All right. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions regarding anything that I've posted so far, let me know. You should also try to check out my other channel. I'll try to remember to leave a link to it in the description. It's a channel where I kind of jam out a whole bunch of stuff. So check that out. And also I have another channel with Della, my amazing girlfriend, who we are business partners as well. And we're doing something pretty cool over there. So check that out. The Adam and Della channel and the Jamming with Stavis channel. And check back off from here, subscribe, and leave a comment, like, share it, help me out, help me get more viewers. I definitely appreciate that. And I'll see you guys in a lesson soon. All right. Bye.